The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
And welcome to episode 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode
3
of Beauty and the Beast. I am the network executive, Vince Russo, and I'm here to talk about a couple of things this week. Sarah and Scott, are you ready to talk a little bit of business? Because we've got some bad news.
Hi.
Sarah, you're wearing nice lip gloss today. Scott, she looks attractive, doesn't she today?
Very attractive. And
very attractive. How does Scott look today, Sarah?
Cute.
Adorable, Scott. All right, listen, we got. Hey, enough of the small talk. We've got big issues on the network. Remember last week we did 938 views, and I said we had to get the ratings up, or else heads were gonna roll. Remember? Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Scott?
Yeah.
Remember I said that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we went from 938 viewers to 788. The ratings are down this week, damn it. Scott?
Yeah.
What?
Why are the ratings down?
Well, I'm going to tell you why I think the ratings are down. The both of you. I did not see the beautiful Sarah or Scott Casey. I did not see you guys promoting the show at all. I didn't see nothing on Twitter to go watch Beauty and the Beast. And Scott, you were promoting all the other shows that you do, and you weren't promoting Beauty and the Beast. Am I right?
Yeah, I promoted the first episode.
How many times did you promote it?
About 10 times.
You are the single biggest liar.
I question that, Scott. Sarah, did you promote the show, Sarah?
Yeah, I retweeted it, and I retweeted what people were saying about it.
How often? Did you do it like every day?
I don't know. I mean, I just retweeted what I liked what people were saying.
Sarah, we got to promote, fellas. We got to promote the show. This is a business. Listen, we're in the podcasting business. You understand that, Scott?
Yeah.
Sarah, I like the lip gloss today. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
All right. Now, listen, there's been a little change in plans. I told you I was going to bring a big star to the show last week. There will be a celebrity guest for Scott and Sarah to interview. And I know I emailed the both of you yesterday, and I said Mike Sanders was coming on the show. And Mike was a good guest because Mike was a wrestler, and now he's also doing some work in Hollywood. So I thought that would be good for Sarah. But Sarah, we had a change in plans because Mike couldn't make it because he got called for some auditions this morning. So we have to let the great Disco Inferno, he's going to sit in for Mike Sanders. But listen, Sarah, I don't want to throw you off your game, so I'm going to let you ask Disco the same questions you were going to ask Mike Sanders. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right, good. All right, Scott, you want to ask the great Disco Inferno the first question, Scott. Go ahead.
Okay, what was it like working for Eric Bischoff in WCW?
Well, he was kind of he was a little bit of an egomaniac, but he was very bright. He had really good ideas, but he was like the type of guy that would he would use the idea of the last guy that he talked to. He was more interested, like he was more friendly in with the top guys, like Hall and Nash, Hogan, Macho, and all them than he was with like the mid card guys. But I can't really complain about him as a boss because he had to deal with, me and Vince have worked. Vince worked in WCW too. It's like the production team there is not as like sharp as they were back in, like I guess it was night and day, like between WWE and WCW. But he had to deal with working with Turner production people, which was kind of like a pain in the ass sometimes, and that was pretty stressful for him. And you could see it when I was helping in production too, that he would get frustrated a lot with a lot of things that was going on. So he had a lot. He had a tough time there, but I could I thought he was a good boss to me. He was cool to me.
All right. Now
he was
Scott,
fair.
Now Scott, what are we supposed to do here? What do we do next?
I'm going to Sarah.
We go to very nice because Sarah's the money, right? Sarah's the ratings. Now, Scott, you're the beast. Sarah's the eye candy, right, Scott?
Yeah.
All right, now Sarah, go ahead. Ask Glenn a question that you had prepared for Mike.
Well, tell me a little bit about what you do. I know now that you're a wrestler, but just tell me a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Glenn. Tell a little bit about yourself. You got something in common because Sarah, he lives in Vegas. Isn't that where your boyfriend lives?
Yeah.
Tell Glenn who your boyfriend is.
Todd Bridges.
From Different Strokes.
Mhm.
How did you guys? Can I ask you a question? How did you meet? Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Boston.
You're from Boston, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where? Doesn't Todd Bridges live in Vegas?
He does live in Vegas.
Well, how do you date Todd? I mean, so you're in Boston and he's in Vegas. Are you in Boston now?
Yeah, I'm in Boston now.
Well, how did you meet Todd Bridges?
We were doing a show together.
What show?
It's called Hospital Arrest, but it was like a TV pilot.
Oh, so you did a pilot.
Yeah.
And so you guys hit it off.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, okay. So you want me to tell about myself?
A little about yourself.
Can
you give her a little background? So Sarah, because Sarah's like the Oprah of this show. She asks great questions, but you got to give her a little bit of a background because we kind of threw her a curveball today.
Well, she was going to ask the same question Mike Sanders. I mean, Mike Sanders is a professional wrestler. I was a professional wrestler. I finished college, and the week I got out of college, I tried out to be a professional wrestler. So I took 6.5 years of college and 2 degrees, and basically flushed them down the toilet to pursue a career in professional wrestling. And I've been doing it for 92. What year is this now? It's 90. I've been wrestling for like 24 years almost. That's unbelievable.
All right, Glenn. Listen, instead of interviewing yourself, can we have Sarah interview you, Glenn, at some point? Hey, Sarah,
okay.
Listen. You're looking at Disco Inferno. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate him, like look-wise?
A 10.
What?
It's not a bad rating. Not a bad rating.
Wait a minute.
Hey, wait a second. Let's be honest. Time out. Don't stop it, Vince. All right. Let me say something. Let's point out that back when Pro Wrestling Illustrated was the big magazine, the big wrestling magazine, that I was voted Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 50 sexiest wrestlers. Okay, so you try to discredit my good name and my looks is just not going to go well.
Well, hold on, Glenn, because there's a couple of things you need to know about Sarah. And Sarah, there's a couple of things you need to know about Glenn. Sarah, Glenn has never been married. He's a bachelor. He's living the bachelor lifestyle. And what did you tell us about yourself last week, Sarah? What type of guys do you like to date?
Older guys.
Glenn.
Well, there's a lot of you know where I work, so it's like there's a lot of girls that like older guys. I mean, like some girls like mature guys that are because the way they carry themselves. They're not immature.
Hey, Sarah, listen, Glenn, Sarah literally is a professional lingerie model. She models for a living.
Okay.
And tell her like where you work. Tell her about the exclusive club you work at because I think you got a lot in common. I keep telling Sarah she needs to go to the hot spots if she wants to become a top model. She's living in Boston. Tell her where you work at Vegas, the people that you're around. Maybe you could help her with her career.
I work at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club right now. It's the world's largest gentlemen's club. It's the biggest one in the world in Vegas. It's like so. I'm around a lot of beautiful girls every night.
Now, Sarah, are you familiar with the club? Because I know you're going to Vegas a lot to be with Willis. Are you familiar with the club?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the club.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't been there.
Okay. But yeah, that's what Glenn's doing now. He's working a club. Hey, Scott Casey Gale.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a gentleman's club?
I've been to a strip club before.
All right. Well,
the same thing.
No, I don't listen. I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to let Scott Casey Gale into a gentleman's club. A stripper club. Now, Scott, who took you to a stripping joint?
My dad and my friend Dennis, he took me to a strip club once in 2001.
How many times you been? How many strip clubs you been to, Scott?
About 3.
What?
Yeah, 3 strip clubs.
And what do you think about the strip club, Scott?
I thought they were nice hotties. They give me lap dances.
For free?
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, I got to ask you this question. Have you ever been to a strip club? Because I know some girls like to do that. Have you ever been to a strip club?
Yeah, I've been to a strip club.
Have you ever gotten a lap dance from one of these hottie toddies, as Scott puts it?
No.
No. Glenn, what advice would you give Sarah? Sarah, how old are you? 23, right?
Yeah.
Sarah, you want to be like a top model, right?
Mhm.
Sarah wanted to go into modeling, Scott, Disco, when she was 12. 12. What kind of advice would you give the beautiful Sarah?
Well, just keep finding work. Like if she wants to model, she's got to continue to model. You got to build a website. You got to promote yourself. Twitter obviously and social media would be the top things, the way to promote yourself these days, and constantly posting pictures, gaining new fans, and basically, a lot of these models. Have you ever thought of being a cam model before?
No, I don't do nude work.
You don't do nude work? Well,
No.
you're gonna I had one of my ex-girlfriends used to be a cam model. She's making about $120 an hour.
She don't like the nude work though.
She don't like nude ones. So there's a market for lingerie. Playboys got rid of their nudie pics. So there's there's more towards maybe towards less nudity. And more towards just like maybe lingerie and bikini modeling. You do bikini modeling too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Hey Sarah, have you ever thought about like sending some? Have you ever sent some of your lingerie shots to like Playboy or any magazines like that?
Yeah, I have a while ago.
Did you hear back?
I'd rather. No.
Have you ever sent any of your lingerie shots to Scott Casey Gale?
No.
Scott, would you like that to get a lingerie shot of Sarah?
Sure.
I'll get your mind out of the gutter. All right. So, Glenn, listen to this, though. She doesn't have an agent, Glenn. She's getting her own work. I keep telling her she got to get in. Look, Sarah, let Glenn see your face.
Very, very pretty good. Let me ask you this: what's her Twitter handle? Let me look on Twitter and see how she's promoting herself on Twitter here.
She does.
Sarah Russi.
Sarah Russi. SarahRussi. Sarah, I think you do a great
Italian?
job.
Are you Italian, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm Italian.
Oh, no, so am I.
Yeah, and Sarah, I think you do a great job promoting yourself on social media, but I still think you need an agent. What do you think, Glenn?
Of course, she could use an agent. That would help. But I mean,
Sarah, what prevents you from getting an agent?
I haven't been able to find one. I don't know where to look. I like doing my own thing. Because I just look at casting calls.
But Sarah, you go to New York once in a while, right?
Yeah, I just got back from New York.
I guarantee you, Glenn. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sarah, I guarantee you, if you went to New York and knocked on doors of modeling agencies, they would pick you up just by looking at you. Have you ever tried that?
No, because I'm short, so I probably can't be with an agency.
You think so, Glenn? Glenn, you think that's true? If height's an issue?
I think she's got low self-esteem issues
does.
right now.
Yeah, Sarah.
I think she's giving us reasons why she can't do things, as opposed to just going out. Like remember Vince, when you say in the booking meetings sometimes when you come up with an idea and they'd be like, and the production team would be like, well, we can't, and you would say there is no can't.
Right. There is no can't.
There is no can't. Okay, that you can will yourself and if you work hard and continue to basically, I call it fishing. If you're not going to catch any fish if you never throw the line into the sea. If you never bait the hook, you're never going to catch a fish.
But you know what, Sarah? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah. Listen to me, because I think I know you pretty well. Scott, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Now, Scott, would you consider representing Sarah as her agent?
Yeah, I would love to do that.
All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Sarah, I know you work hard because the fact that you get a lot of jobs on your own, you're working hard. There's no question in my mind. You're not lazy. But Sarah, I think you're very, very shy. Would you agree to that?
Sometimes.
Do you think that prevents you from like knocking on doors cold and, maybe calling agents and stuff? Do you think that's what prevents you from it?
No, not at all. I just when I first started, I tried to find an agent. I've sent my stuff to agencies and they told me I was too short.
Wow, what do you think about that, Glenn?
Maybe she needs to start looking instead of looking at modeling, okay, and then looking at the like lingerie modeling. Maybe she should start just looking because there's so many avenues to go about this, and the fact that she is she's on this show, she dates Todd Bridges.
Maybe Scott Casey Gale is her co-host.
Maybe she should start looking towards trying to get into the what do you call it, the reality show scene.
I try to do reality TV. Yeah.
You what now? You would like to do reality TV?
Yeah, I would like to do reality TV.
Well, that's the type of them. That's what you need to start. That's the avenue which you need to start pursuing. There's all these if there's casting calls for reality TV, if you put on your resume, that you do this show called Beauty and the Beast with Vince Russo and Scott Casey Gale. If you tell people that you date Todd Bridges, that right there makes you more marketable, more marketable than the average Joe, than your girlfriend that nobody knows.
Well, I don't like to name drop. I don't like to
Well, that's what you have to do if you want to do reality TV.
You got to
let me be honest with you, Sarah. Let me be very honest with you. Okay. No, what's your last? Sarah Russi.
Yeah,
okay,
that's my name.
Nobody is going to be interested in Sarah Russi. Basically, nobody's going to be interested in Sarah Russi from Boston, Massachusetts. There's no appeal to that. But people are going to want to know who's Todd Bridges' girlfriend. Todd Bridges' girlfriend is marketable. Sarah Russi from Boston, Massachusetts is not very marketable. You can get your foot in the door by name dropping, because that's how basically everybody gets forward in the entertainment business, is by knowing people and name dropping.
Yeah.
I got hired in WCW because I was friends with Diamond Dallas Page and Terry Taylor, and I knew guys that I could you had connections. So you have a connection. Even though it's your boyfriend, it's still a connection to the entertainment industry.
Sarah, why don't you like to name drop? Do you think something's wrong with that? I don't think anything's wrong with that. Do you just why don't you like to do that?
Yeah, I just don't like it. I just don't like
Sarah,
to brag about it.
Sarah,
and
Sarah,
I don't want to talk about him.
Well, let me explain something to you, Sarah. Okay, nobody would care. Do you know who Kim Kolzak is?
That sounds familiar, yeah.
This is because she's from the house. She's one of those housewife shows.
Right.
Because she's married to a pro football player.
Right.
Okay, so nobody cares about Kim Kolzak, the person. They care about Kim Kolzak, the girl that's married to the football player. The house, all these reality shows are women that weren't. They were basically, not nobodies, but just women in the neighborhood that married famous people and are dating famous people. There's a show called Basketball Wives and Girlfriends. That's like the new term. It's like nobody cares about the girl, but they care about the you have to care about the person that the person is dating first before you care about who the girlfriend or the wife.
Sarah, what do you think about that? Give us your feedback on what Glenn's saying.
I think what he's saying is true, but I just wouldn't
You don't feel comfortable.
No, like I don't like to talk about him. Like, you know.
Well, let's be honest.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay,
Scott, wait, hold on.
time out.
Wait. I got to
Vince.
bring Scott Casey Gale into conversation real quick. He's the co-host. Scott Casey Gale, are you still with us?
Yes.
Do you have any problems whatsoever with Sarah Russi name dropping your name?
Not at all.
All right. Now, Sarah, would you have a problem dropping Scott Casey Gale's name?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we got that. We got that accomplished at least. All right, Glenn, go ahead.
Let's be honest here too. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I
Todd-
want to tell Sarah something
Go
first
ahead.
because I want to make sure she doesn't get upset or take this the wrong way. Sarah, you know I think very highly of you, and you know, Sarah, I'm 55 years old. I got all this gray hair. I've been married for 32 years. You know, I look past the beauty. You know, you're a beautiful girl, and you know, I love your face. I think you got a beautiful face, and you know, like me and Glenn are basically just telling you this because we think you have a lot of promise, and we're just trying to help. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because Glenn's done a lot of stuff. Glenn's been in movies. Glenn's been in wrestling. Glenn's been in front of the camera. Glenn knows a little bit about what it takes to get noticed. So go ahead, Glenn.
Well, don't you think? I mean, honestly, beyond after different strokes. Let's be honest here. Did Todd Bridges do a lot of TV work or anything, or is he interested in doing more work? Like Todd Bridges is still interested when working, correct?
Is he still wasn't he doing radio or something? Is he still working?
He's still working, yeah.
Well, let's be honest here. Don't Vince, this is intriguing. Don't you think that Todd Bridges and Sarah's relationship is something that people would be interested in?
Absolutely, Sarah. Sarah, what about that as a reality show? You ever talk to Todd about that?
No, he likes to keep things personal, like between us.
So he likes to keep things on the down low.
Mhm.
Sarah, is he doing any acting now?
Yeah.
So
He's still doing acting.
he still goes on auditions and does all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like since he wants to keep the relationship on the down low, like he hasn't really introduced you to any agents or anything, huh?
We only like hung out once. This is like a new relationship.
It's a brand new It's a new relationship.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a new relationship. How long you guys been dating?
About a month.
Oh, a month.
But she's known him a little longer. You've known him a little longer, right, Sarah?
Yeah, I've known him longer.
Scott Casey Gale, would you like to throw in a wrestling question to the great Disco Inferno?
Yeah. Whatever happened to Sonny Ono?
Yeah, your good
yeah,
friend
guys.
Sonny Ono.
Let me tell you something. Sonny Ono's son, Kaz, is one of the best amateur wrestlers in the country.
Legit amateur.
Absolutely. He's in college right now. He was one of the best high school wrestlers in the country. Would go to these big tournaments, these national tournaments, and get second play for. I mean, the kid's unbelievable. He's in a small college in Iowa right now, but he's very successful. I follow Sonny on Facebook. Sonny a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I worked a show with Sonny ran a show in his hometown for like for the youth groups or something, for the high school or something. And I worked a show with him, but his kid is one of the best amateur wrestlers in the country.
Hey Scott, why would you ask a question about Sonny Ono? I'm just curious.
That's bizarre name to bring up.
Of all the people at WCW, why Sonny Ono?
I used to like him back when I was young. I used to like him when he was with the Cat.
Hey Glenn, listen to this. You'll get the biggest kick out of this, bro. Scott, tell Glenn who are your two favorite actors.
Will Ferrell and Michael Rappaport.
He loves Michael Rappaport, bro.
Michael Rappaport had one of the funniest. If you listen to Rappaport on Howard Stern. Did you listen? Did you hear his rant when he was on? He did the fantasy football rant on Howard Stern.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest things you'll ever hear.
Bro,
it's like,
bro, Scott is obsessed with Michael Rappaport.
Why is he obsessed with Michael Rappaport?
And I just like his acting and the characters he plays.
And who's your other favorite actor?
Will Ferrell. He loves Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Will Ferrell's good in something. I'm not a big fan of the old Saturday Night Live guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Will Ferrell's done some funny stuff, but to me, the Saturday Night Live crew, they're good in skits. I'm not a fan of their movies. To be honest with you.
Now we got to go back to Sarah's career.
Okay.
Sarah, Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still
Hey,
here.
Sarah, I want to ask you a question. You know how, like you said to me, like, you're kind of short and you think that holds you back, right?
Yeah,
Sarah,
How tall are you, by the way?
how tall are you, Sarah?
I'm 5 feet.
5 feet. Hey, Sarah, let me ask you a question, though, and this is a legitimate question. I'm not fooling around. You know how, like, there's a lot of plus-size models? You know, I mean, you see them all over the place. Like, plus, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Wouldn't there be the same market for petite models?
Yeah, I think so, but it just doesn't work like that. It's not the same.
So you think that really, really works against you then, huh?
Mhm.
Glenn, what do you think? How could we help Sarah? What about coming to Vegas and being a showgirl? Could you dance?
Not really.
Scott,
But I
would
would
you?
do that.
Well, attractive girls could have no problem finding work in Vegas. To be
Yeah, but
honest
she doesn't want to do the nudie stuff.
No,
We
no, no,
don't,
no.
Sarah,
There's
we
still,
don't want her doing that.
no. But there's other work. There's other work. You know, you could work in the you could. There's a lot of cocktail jobs that pay well. There's a lot of shows. There's just a lot of work for women in this town. A lot.
But Sarah, you don't really. You seem like you don't really want to leave Boston. Is that true?
No, I do. I do want to leave Boston.
Where would you want to go if it were up to you? Where would you go? L.A., Vegas, where?
I like New York.
New
I like
York.
New York. Yeah.
It's not really moving though. We're moving from Boston to New York.
Well, yes.
No, that's the Northeast. It's the same thing. It's like, I mean, you can drive from Boston to New York. I mean, that's, moving is packing your bags and like, you're driving away, and if you want to go home, you have to fly. That's moving.
Yeah.
Like if you could drive back and forth like if you could live in New York and drive home every weekend to see your parents. That's not really moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sarah,
Plus, it's too expensive in New York.
Yeah.
You
Sarah,
gotta make a fortune to live there.
is there anything you want to ask Glenn? Because he's done it. Glenn's been a TV star for 20 years. He's been on TV in front of the camera. Any advice? Anything you'd like to ask him, Sarah?
So, how did you get started, like, doing TV?
I started doing professional wrestling in '92. I worked. This is like the story that you'd probably be interested in. I worked on the independent wrestling scene for 3.5 years, paying my dues, not making much money, and because I made connections with people, I got a break and got a tryout at WCW, the big time, and I got hired on the spot when I got my tryout. But basically, I worked hard for 3 years for very little money, made connections, and then got my big break. But it was I had to give up my college education to basically pursue this career. I rolled the dice. I took a shot. I basically had my college background to fall back on as an insurance policy, and I just said, hey, if I'm either going to sink or swim as a professional wrestler. If I fail, I can go back and just work a regular job, a 9 to 5, and be an average person the rest of my life, or I can pursue this and become a big, become a celebrity and then travel the world for free. So, or get paid to travel the world, which is what happened. So it's hard work.
Sarah, do you have like a plan B? Like say the modeling didn't plan out. Like, do you have a plan B? Is there some, like Glenn just said he had a plan B. Do you have a plan B?
Well, I would do something else in the entertainment industry. I don't know what that would be, but I would like work behind the scenes or something if the modeling didn't work out.
Yeah. I got a question, Sarah. Before, do you have a job right now?
No, I just do the modeling.
And she gets a lot of gigs on her own. I mean, she's a paid model. She's always out working. What's your next gig, Sarah?
Well, I have a photo shoot this week. It's paid. Like all I do is like all the work I do is paid. But I just got back from New York and I just did the international beauty show I worked at, and I did a few photo shoots when I was in New York too.
Yeah, and Glenn, she gets all this on her own. She does her own hustling.
Well, that's good.
Scott, have you ever considered modeling?
No.
Why not, Scott? An attractive man like you on the cover of GQ?
I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't tried though.
Do you
Scott,
know?
No, wait, Scott, it's Vince.
Scott, tell Glenn what you always take pictures of and put on your Twitter page. Tell Glenn.
food, like ribs at Chili's, hamburgers, pizza, steak.
Bro, he eats 10 times a day and takes a picture of whatever he eats and posts it online before he
A
eats
lot
it.
of people, I find myself doing that a lot too. But I don't take a picture of the burgers. I take a picture of the nice restaurants I go to, the exotic food. The
Now,
exotic
Glenn, I mean, Scott, would you ever take Glenn out for a nice rack of ribs?
Oh yeah.
Now, what would you talk to Glenn about besides wrestling? If say you can't talk about wrestling.
Like what TV shows he likes?
Yeah, Glenn, Scott's a big TV fan. What's your favorite? What are you watching now, Glenn?
I don't really, bro. I watch a lot of sports, but I'm a game. I'm on Netflix now watching Breaking Bad. I watched Making a Murderer. I watched. I'll watch Game of Thrones when it's on. I'll watch. I watch a lot of the HBO shows when they're on.
Yeah.
I just kind of like, but I watch sports. I watch a lot of football. I work out a lot, so I'm out of the house a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not a. I don't watch a lot of TV. I surf the web a lot. Just different content, and I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I used to be more into TV show. I'm single now, but when I had my girlfriend, we used to go see movies all the time. I don't really see that many movies, that much anymore because I'm not dating anybody right now. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore.
Scott, do you find Glenn attractive at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it goes and find him attractive too.
Yeah, so you find him attractive, but you don't swing that way. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
All right, now, Glenn, we're going to treat you with something now, okay? This is my favorite part of the show. This is Scott Casey Gale's rant. Scott, go ahead. Go get your paper bag.
Okay.
This is the best part of the show. This is the part of the show that everybody looks forward to. He's got his paper bag.
Yeah.
This is where every week, Glenn, Scott rips somebody or something. Go ahead, Scott. Take it away.
Okay. It's a promo on the Vince McMahon.
Go ahead. Take it away.
Vince McMahon, you wanna take a bunch of NXT guys and make them into jobbers? What is the matter with you? Why do you want to take every single NXT wrestler and make him into a job? And you say that John Cena is the most important character in WWE. There's more other wrestlers who are way more important than John Cena. It's not about John Cena and the fans and what they want. Because that's why I want Shane McMahon to beat The Undertaker and take over the WWE, because he'll give the fans what they want.
And what else? But what are you going to do if he doesn't do it? What are you going to do to him?
Then I'm going to take a firecracker and a blowtorch and a machete and shove it so far up his ass he won't be able to take a crap for a long time.
Very nice. Glenn, what did you think about that rant by Scott Casey Gale?
He doesn't like Vince McMahon, does he?
Now, Sarah, you said you were going to do the brown paper bag this week, no?
I have nothing I'm angry about.
All right. Okay. All right. Listen.
Sarah sounds like she doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
No, not at all. That's why I like Sarah.
Very laid back. Vince, how did you find Sarah? How did Vince Russo find you?
No, Sarah, why did you start following? You followed me, and then I was like, oh, look at this beautiful girl. How come you started following me, Sarah?
No, you followed me first.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she follow you, Sarah? Are you a professional wrestling fan?
No.
No, but
did you have any? You had any clue who Vince Russo was before he followed you?
No.
No clue. Did you look him up on the internet?
Yeah, I looked him up after.
Did you, bro? What do you, Sarah? What do you think of Vince's opinion? What's your opinion of Vince, basically from what you read about him on the internet?
I don't know. A nice guy.
Nice guy, big star.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, I want to tell you what happened this week, Sarah, because I want you to be well aware of this, right? Glenn, I want you to chime in on this, and you too, Scott Casey Gale, if you feel like it. Sarah, you know I'm a Christian guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so another Christian guy sent me a tweet this week. Get a load of this, Glenn. A Christian guy sent me a tweet, and he goes, should you really, he was talking about Sarah now, should you really be following somebody like that? Sarah, I went ballistic on the guy that I shouldn't be following you because you're so beautiful and the way you look and everything. And I explained to the guy, listen, buddy, she's like a daughter to me. She's the sweet Sarah Russi. I'm trying to help her with her career. I don't look at her in creepy ways. But that really pissed me off that the guy freaking said, oh, you shouldn't be following somebody like that. What the heck's that supposed to mean, Glenn?
Well, it sounds like somebody's trying to be really righteous here.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm a big fan of Sarah. I want to see Sarah do well, man.
I do too now. I mean, I think Sarah, what Sarah needs is more people to boost her confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, but what she needs is she needs to develop a work ethic. She needs to go out and try to risk failure to try to be successful. Everybody has to risk failure in life. You can't just because you think something's going to fail, it can't prevent you from obtaining your goals. Like what I did with my career. I risked failing. Because not a lot of people do what I did for a living. There's not a lot of professional wrestlers that perform on TV these days. There's there's just a handful of us compared to the amount of people doing it out there. So you have to with great risk in life comes great reward. With no risk comes nothing. If you don't risk anything in your life, you're never going to achieve anything. So what you have to do is basically take risks and take chances.
Sarah,
and
Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
You can't let the fact that you think you're small prevents you from achieving your goals. There's a lot of small people that have gained notoriety in their life and been successful and been successful models or been big stars. So I don't think.
Sarah, are you afraid? Are you afraid of rejection? Are you afraid of going to agencies and them not taking you on and rejecting you? Does rejection bother you?
No, I just don't want an agent. I like doing it myself.
Do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah.
Are they supportive of you?
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot of friends that you think that maybe kind of hope you fail. You surround yourself with negative people or positive people?
Positive people.
Positive people.
Yeah.
And what type of do you have are your if you like older guys, okay? Are your friends older or younger than the people that you grew up with that went to high school?
I'm not. I don't talk to people I went to high school with. All my friends are older.
Interesting.
Yeah, she hangs with the older crowd. All right, now Glenn, do you have any advice? Scott Casey Gale is an up and coming podcaster. Scott, how many shows do you have on the air?
A lot.
A lot. Scott, Glenn, do you have any advice for Scott Casey Gale?
No, just promote himself. I remember, isn't this the kid that was burying you on YouTube and everything, and that's how you met? Right, yeah.
Yeah, burying me. He did the paper bag on Vince Russo. Remember that, Scott?
Yeah.
You never apologize to me for that, Scott.
I was hyped for doing a paper bag.
Scott, don't ever apologize for burying Vince Russo. Okay, you don't have to apologize for nothing because Vince Russo killed WCW. So that's
All right, let's change this. All right, now, Glenn, how would you rate the performance? They're co-hosts now. This is the second show.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a rating on the great Scott Casey Gale and the beautiful Sarah Russi as podcast hosts. You got to rate them now.
Brutally honest.
Can he be brutally honest, guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give both these 7s.
All right, that's okay.
Let me tell you why. Because this is a podcast, okay? And you can be as controversial as you want on these, okay? I think Scott Casey Gale's questions that he asked me were kind of not very interesting, okay? But he's a nice guy,
right?
And I think Sarah could have gotten more, the questions were, she looks very pretty, so on look she's a 10. But on the substance of what she asked me, I would give her a 4. Okay, so we'll round up this. So I'm giving her a 7.
Right.
But basically, you guys this is a podcast. We're not, we're not rated. We're not being monitored by the federal the commission. You could ask more serious and personal questions and more interesting questions to people when you have them on your show.
You got that, Scott?
Yeah.
Now, how would you gave Sarah a 10 in the looks department? What are you rating Mr. Casey Gale in the looks department, Glenn?
Oh, he's not a good-looking guy. I think he'll even admit that. I'll give him a 4.
What?
3 or 4, yeah, 4, a 4-ish.
Scott, cut a promo. Cut a promo on him right now. Scott, cut a promo on him for a 4. Go ahead. Go, Scott.
I'm not a good-looking guy. All the ladies think I'm a good-looking guy. Every single lady thinks I'm hot and sexy, and every lady comes up to me. I'm always getting
Look, Scott.
I'm a good-looking guy.
Scott,
I'm out. Let me tell you something.
If Glenn doesn't say you're a good-looking guy, what are you going to do to him, Scott?
Shove a firecracker up his ass.
I'll be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Scott, let me tell you something. You should use this as motivation, okay? What you need to do in order to improve your looks is start working out, okay? And start doing the show with your shirt off once your body becomes in better shape.
See, Scott,
Scott, right, more muscular. And do the shirt with your shirt. Have Sarah in the lingerie, okay, and have you with your shirt off, okay, and with your showing your muscles. And I think that would be more. You'll improve Vince. Let's be honest. It'll improve ratings.
Well, Scott, Glenn, do you know as a shoot that once in a while Scott will do the show in his boxer shorts?
Will he really?
Yes, I've caught him a couple of times.
And I'll be honest with you, Vince. Let's be honest. Most of your people that are watching this are probably sitting in their boxer shorts with their laptop at home right now, sitting on the bed.
All right, listen. Now, Scott, listen. Scott and Sarah, you got to go out now and promote this show. We got to get the numbers up. You got to promote that you had a big star on the show, the Disco Inferno. We got to get it over 1,000 this week. Can you do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sarah, can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scott, promote do your shout-outs. Glenn wants to hear your shout-outs. Go ahead.
Shout out to Vince Russo. Shout out to Glenn Gilbertti.
Wait. Shout out to who?
Oh, the Disco Inferno.
No, what did you say his name was? Glenn who?
Glenn something. Glenn Gilbertti.
Okay, Glenn something. Go ahead.
Okay. Shout out to BB757. You can't beat me. No. You can't beat me. You can't beat me. That's my friend Cody.
Okay.
Shout out to JH Films, the guy that made making Vince Russo. Credit goes to Jack because he's the reason why I met Vince Russo. Shout out to Worldwide Nation, Russian Shooters, WWE Endeavors Revolution, WWE Endeavors Network, and my mom and dad. Happy birthday to my dad. Today's my dad's birthday. Shout out to my sister and a brother-in-law and the dog and my niece and nephew.
Yeah, and happy birthday, Mr. Scott Casey Gale. One more time.
My dad's birthday.
Scott, one more time. What's his name? Glenn what?
Glenn Gilbertti.
Gilbertti. Okay.
Gilbertti.
No, I'm writing that down right now. Glenn Gil.
Wait, time out. I just time out. I didn't sit here. Let me tell you something here.
Well, Glenn Gilbertti.
Time out. I just followed Sarah on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking at her thing, and Sarah, you did here's a perfect example where you missed a golden opportunity. Okay. You did the Man Cave. I'm reading this here correctly.
Yes.
The Man Cave podcast, teaching how celebs pick up chicks online, and her work with Vince Russo. Did you talk about that in a podcast recently?
Yeah, I did.
So let me just a quick sidebar before we leave here. Okay. So how celebrities pick up chicks online? Are you talking about how you're?
No, I mean just in general, celebrities that have hit me up in the past.
Oh,
wait,
so
was asking me questions.
Well, okay, I know you don't like to name drop. Okay, but how many celebrities have hit you up online?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just
Let me ask you a
maybe
question.
about 10.
Let me ask you a question. Do they follow you? Did they start by following you on Twitter?
I usually follow them first.
You follow them first, and they follow you back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now when you both are following each other, do you get suggestive direct messages from these guys on Twitter?
No, That's not.
They don't ask you out. They don't like you haven't gotten like any private messages from celebrities that follow, like, or have you sent any private direct messages to celebrities, like saying like, hey, I really think you're cute. Are you going to be in Boston anytime soon? Have you ever sent stuff like that before?
Well, no, but I mean, I've like reached out to them and like, so one time I did hang out with a guy who lived in LA and he was in Boston.
Right. And you went on a date with him.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you guys go?
We went to a Mexican restaurant in Boston. It was one of my choices.
Okay, quick. Wait, time out, Vince. I'm asking the questions here. Time out, real quick. So this guy was a celebrity. Did he come pick you up at your house, or did you meet him at the Mexican restaurant?
Well, I work, so I just after work. This was when I was a bartender. So after that, I just went to the restaurant.
And this is a famous celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Really? But you don't like to name drop?
No, I don't
Why
like
not?
to talk
Okay,
about other people.
Okay, let me
It's
ask
their
you.
business, you know.
Let me ask you a question. How many celebrities do you follow on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. I'm like following like 700 people, so it's hard to say.
Interesting. So Vince, by the process of elimination, we could probably look on her Twitter followers and figure out maybe which you figure it out. I honestly, since Sarah doesn't like to name drop, you should have a segment on the show as like find out who Sarah dated. I do like an investigative piece.
I'm still a little, because I want to make it clear. See, I swear I think I could have swore you followed me, so I followed you to try to get you on the show. But you said I followed you first.
Yeah, you followed me.
But
first.
can we make it clear? I didn't send you no creepy messages or nothing like that.
No.
I was a complete gentleman inviting you on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah, anything you want to plug?
Time, real quick. I'm looking at Sarah's Twitter page here. Sarah, do you follow a Twitter handle named Nice Butt?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, there's a Twitter handle on your page that says people, the Nice Butt is one of the Twitter followers here.
That might be Scott Casey Gale. Scott, are you following Miss Tessmacher's butt online? All right, Scott.
Well, I'm asking Sarah real quick. Do you like sports?
No, I'm not. I don't follow sports.
You don't. You live in New England and you don't follow sports? You got the Red Sox. You got Boston's one of the best sports town in the country. You're probably limited. I mean, how hard is it finding a guy or like dating in Boston and you don't like sports? Because all the guys in Boston want to go to games and stuff.
No, all of them.
She goes out with older guys. She goes out with older.
Yeah, go out with older guys.
Hey, Sarah, what do you like? I never asked you this question before. Like, what are your hobbies? Like, when you're not modeling and doing this show, what do you like to do?
I don't know. I just like to like listen to music or like go for a walk.
What type of music do you like?
I like everything. I like top 40.
Scott, what are your hobbies, Scott? When you're not the star of this show, what do you like to do, Scott?
Take long walks. Play with my niece and nephew. Talk to my friends on Skype. Sometimes I like to walk to the store, walk to Westminster, and do like lots of walking.
See what Scott's a catch. We got to find Scott the right girl on this show.
Does Sarah work out? Yeah,
she's got to.
Yeah,
you work out, right, Sarah?
Yeah, I work out.
Sarah, are you the kind of girl that like can you eat whatever you want, or like you really got to watch everything that you eat?
Well, I just try to eat healthy.
Yeah, you're a vegan, right?
I'm a vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Hey, Glenn, what do you think about this? The very first show, Sarah said she was a vegetarian, and Scott said he was going to become a vegetarian because Sarah was, and the next day Scott puts a picture online of him eating ribs at Chili's. Right,
well, I don't think we can explain to Scott that ribs are not a part of the vegan diet.
All right, listen, everybody. You guys are going to promote the show this week now. You had the world-famous Disco Inferno on the show, right, Scott?
Yes.
We're going to get it up to over 1,000. You got to promote this, not the other things you're doing.
Yeah, it's going to be huge ratings.
And you're going to say Glenn who was on the show? Glenn who?
Gilbertti, whatever.
Gilbertti. Okay, Glenn Gilbertti. Sarah, you're going to promote the show, right?
Yeah, I'll promote it.
All right. You guys want to thank Glenn for coming on as your guest? Go ahead. Thank Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was my pleasure.
All right, Glenn Gilbertti, I wrote that down, bro. That's the new Glenn Gilbertti. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. You got to get the ratings for Sarah and Scott. We got
you got to be more controversial, guys. Controversy sells.
Controversy sells. You get it, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. We will see you right back here next week with Beauty and the Beast, Episode 3. 4. Thank you, guys.
Visit VinceRussoBrand.com to sign up for exclusive VIP content. You get over 20 new video shows monthly, including Vixens Who Rule and The Swerve, where Vince Russo interviews stars in wrestling and beyond. Listen to Vince and Jeff Lane discuss weekly news and rumors and review Attitude Era Raws. Also, watch the cult hit Bucket Full of Chicken next. Go to VinceRussoBrand.com and click the red subscribe button to join now.